Hi, everyone, and welcome to Real Chat Lounge. I actually cannot believe that we are here today because if you know me, if you know Rhoda, you know that I have been wanting to do a podcast for so long. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. So, my name is Rhoda Yaboa. I'm Ghanaian. I'm 29 years old. I'm gonna be 30 very soon. And honestly, me turning 30 is what motivated me to finally do this. And I live in Belgium. So, this is a podcast that I have been wanting to do for so long. And today we are finally here. So, welcome. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy this journey that I have decided to take. So, welcome once again. I know there are a lot of podcasts. Everyone has a podcast, but then like, yeah, why not? Why can't I have a podcast? Because I have a lot of opinions. I have an opinion about everything. So why not? So welcome to my channel and my podcast again. So you may be wondering, what is she going to talk about? Well, what is this podcast going to be about? So as the name says, Real Chat Lounge. So we're going to have real conversations on this podcast. We're going to have fun conversations, comfortable conversation, not a lot of uncomfortable conversations as well, and also, of course, some serious conversations. You can, of course, expect some dilemmas as well because like I said, I have a lot of opinion about everything, and sometimes you feel like, oh, am I the only person that have this opinion? No, you can come to this podcast every week to just listen to me share my opinion about everything. And of course, aside from that, we are going to have conversations with different people on different topics. We're going to have some insights on different topics. So that's the goal of this podcast. So I want this podcast to be like form a community where you listen to it, you get something out of it, and of course, you have a lot of love, and of course, probably judge me because of all the opinions that I have on different topics and how shady I can be. But let me give you a backstory on how this whole idea came. I've been wanting to do a podcast since 2017. It's been so long. I know, it's been so long. And the idea came, I don't know if you guys remember this era that we had Backchat London. There were other talk shows that was going on YouTube. I used to watch that all the time. Honestly, it was so good. So that's how the idea came. So I was like, you know what? I want to have well, back then it was a talk show. So I was like, you know what? I want to have a podcast, like a talk show like that. And funny thing is, I actually started it. I actually did. So back in 2017, I came up with a team. So I came up with like a group of people. We all came together. I remember we had a team meeting to discuss about it, all the different topics that we are going to talk about. And so for me, it was my desire to have the podcast with other people, right? And I even made a Facebook account. So I'm probably sure if you go on Facebook right now and you type, I think it was New Generation of Africa or Generation of Africa, you're probably going to find the Facebook page because I really wanted to do it. However, some things occurred in the group and drama working together with other people that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put this thing aside. I'm not going to do it anymore. And I think for me, even though, okay, the group, it wasn't going well and so on, I think mainly one of the main reasons why I didn't want to do it by myself is I felt like I had to do it like with a team. I had to have people around me. I didn't back then have the courage to do it by myself. I just needed people around me. But I think growing up, I just realized maybe you can do it by yourself, like you don't need to be in a group. You don't need to have a team. You can do it by yourself. So that's how I decided to do it by myself now. And I'm actually very happy that I did. So, wait, I have my iPad. I'm going to have it all the time with me because I write a lot. I like to write things down all the time. So, how did I start to do it now? Because, okay, I wanted to do it 2017. Now we are in 2024. So, I'm going to be 30 this year. Yes, I'm going to turn the big 30 this year. So I remember back in April, it was on a Friday, it was after work, I was working from home, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to turn 30 in 2 months. And I was already planning on having like a big party to celebrate my 30th birthday with all the people that I love, my friends, my family, to all come around to celebrate my 30th birthday. But then I just had this idea like, maybe you can do the podcast that you have always been wanting to do instead of wanting to throw, like, I mean, I'm still going to do that. So that's why the idea came. I think it was just the right moment. It was just God just telling me, like, Rhoda, this is something that you need to do. So just do it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I already know what topic I'm going to talk about, especially for the first or second episode. I already knew what I was going to talk about. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to give myself a deadline. By the time I turn 30, I'm going to launch it. And I decided to do it. That's why we are here today. Because I remember in the beginning of the year, I had some friends over for like a New Year party, and we're all talking about the things that we want to achieve this year. And I remember telling them that I'm going to start a podcast. And they were like, yeah, you have to start, you have to do it. Honestly, everyone that knows, all my friends, they'll be like, Rhoda, when are you starting this podcast? When are you doing it? When are you doing it? So they are going to be very happy that this is out. So thank you, all my friends and family that has motivated me, like supported me now to really do it. I'm finally doing it. I hope you're proud. But I'm also very proud of myself. So back in April, as I was saying, I knew, okay, the topic that I want to talk about is the reality of turning 30, because I'm turning 30 myself, and I'm extremely happy to be 30 years old. Honestly, I am. But I have conversations with other people, and not everyone is actually very happy to turn 30, which is quite weird, right? Not really, because society has made us think like that. But I was like, I'm going to have a podcast and I'm going to have people around. I'm going to invite other people to discuss about, the reality of turning 30, the expectations that people have for us, the reality of it, the expectation. Like, I remember when I was like 15, and to think of people that are 30, they sound like it seemed so old. But now that I'm 30, it's like I still feel so young. But I feel like there is a lot of conversations that needs to be had on around this topic. So that's the topic that we're gonna be starting with. And I have invited some amazing people that are also on this journey of turning 30. So we're going to have some interesting conversations in the next episodes. And what else can you expect? We're going to have conversations about other topics as well, like any topic that you can think of. Like, and I remember I was having a conversation with a friend, and she was like, I was like, oh, I have these topics that I'm going to talk about. And all the people that I have, like, I know someone for every topic. I was like, oh, I feel like let's say I'm gonna do this topic. I know someone, but the same person can also be used for another topic. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like the same people, and she was like, no, that shows how your friendship group is. That shows how you're around people that add value. So it's not like because you're using the same people for different topics, that is really a reflection of you. That if you can have people for different topics and different niche, that means you are surrounded with good people. And I was like, that's actually true. Like, imagine I can have someone to talk about working in tech, entrepreneurship, business, real estate. I mean, that means I'm really surrounded by good people. So I'm very happy that I will have the opportunity to do so. So, yeah, this is just an introduction and just launching Real Chat Lounge. And you're probably thinking, why the name? Well, as I said in the beginning, there's a lot of podcasts for everything. Finding a name was so difficult because I had different names. I had like, different names, but almost all the names that I wanted was already taken. But then since I wanted to have like real conversations, real chats, I was like, yeah, real chats. But then, of course, as you can see, they're going to be in a lounge. So why not? So that's why it's a Real Chat Lounge, because we're really going to talk about real conversations, be authentic, and hopefully people can learn something out of it. So that's it for the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it and got to know me a bit more. For the next episodes, yeah, it's gonna be more about me talking about how my 20s were because the ghetto. No, yeah, we're just gonna have a conversation about being 20, how it was, and so on. So thank you again for coming on this journey with me, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode. Bye.
Procrastination.